66-24. Just take a second and let that sink in.
Yeah.
That doesn't really sound like a final score in the NFL. It sounds more like a college game, you know, where a top team pays some small school to come get blown out.
It really is one of those scores that makes you do a double take. I mean, you see blowouts, sure, happens all the time. A team wins 35-10, maybe 40-14.
Right.
But getting into the 60s, that is rare air. That's historic.
It's the video game stuff. I remember playing Madden and thinking, okay, a score like this is just unrealistic.
Right.
But here we are. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We are breaking down the analysis of this absolute demolition.
Right.
But the mission here isn't just to gawk at the scoreboard. The big question we're trying to figure out is this real?
Exactly. Is this sustainable?
Because when a team puts up 629 total yards, is that just a fluke? You know, a weird week where everything went right? Or is this the moment the Cardinals just announced they're a terrifying football team?
It feels like a statement game, doesn't it? And when you really peel back the layers here, this wasn't about lucky bounces.
No.
Sometimes a team scores 60 because of like 4 defensive touchdowns and fumbled kickoffs. This was systematic. This was pure offensive efficiency and trench domination.
So let's start with the guy driving the whole thing, Jack Weber. 629 yards of offense doesn't happen by accident, and most of it went right through him.
He was the engine.
Engine, the transmission, the whole car.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at his stat line 3 separate times. 313 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and a passer rating of 135.2. That's a career day.
It is. But I actually think the most impressive part isn't even the passer rating. It's the completion percentage.
Okay.
He completed 83% of his passes.
Which is... That's just absurd. I can't get 83% of my emails typed without a typo, let alone throwing against an NFL defense.
Right. But think about what that means. Usually in the NFL, there's a trade-off. If you want high volume, lots of big throws, you have to sacrifice efficiency. Your completion percentage drops.
Take more risks.
You take more risks. You're throwing into tight windows. To throw for over 300 yards and 4 scores while completing 83%, that shows a quarterback in total command.
So he's not just chucking it and hoping for the best.
Not at all. He's diagnosing everything pre-snap. He knows exactly where the soft spot in the zone is going to be. He wasn't guessing out there. He was surgical.
And this is where it gets crazy to me. Because if he just stood in the pocket dealing like that, fine. But that wasn't all he did.
No, and that's the part that's a nightmare for defensive coordinators.
We throw the term dual threat around a lot, but this was something else. Weber ran for 96 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So you add it all up, that's 6 total touchdowns for one player.
It completely breaks the defensive scheme. I mean, think about it from a linebacker's perspective. You have to drop back into coverage because you're terrified of that 83% completion rate.
Of course.
But the second you turn your hips to run with a receiver, Weber sees that lane open up, and he's gone for 15 yards.
It's paralyzing for a defense.
It is. We saw plays where Cincinnati defenders just looked frozen. They call it the conflict defender, that guy who has to choose between run or pass. Weber put that guy in conflict on every single snap, and whatever he chose was wrong.
The analysis we looked at called him one of the league's brightest rising stars, and now he's top 10 in both passing yards and passing touchdowns. This doesn't feel like a fluke week anymore.
No, this solidifies it. When your quarterback is playing with this level of confidence, and confidence is a real thing, it just elevates everybody. He looks calm, he looks explosive, and he looks unshakable.
Well, speaking of elevating everybody, we have to talk about the ground game. Because Weber ran for almost 100 yards, but the team stats, honestly, they look like a glitch in the computer.
You're staring at that average, aren't you?
I can't look away. The Cardinals averaged 11.7 yards per carry. 11.7. Statistically, every time they ran the ball, they got a first down and then some.
It's staggering. In today's NFL, if your team averages 4.5 yards a carry, you're thrilled. You're celebrating.
Yeah.
To more than double that is just, it's unheard of.
So how does that even happen? Is Cincy's defensive line just that bad? Did they forget how to tackle?
It's a mix, but you have to give so much credit to the guys in the trenches. The game breakdown kept hammering this point. Arizona was dominating the point of attack.
So pure physical dominance.
Pure physical displacement. We're talking about the offensive line moving grown men against their will. We saw guards pulling, sealing off the edge before linebackers could even react. You have offensive linemen 5 yards downfield blocking a safety before the running back has even been touched.
And when you give an NFL running back that kind of a head start,
they're going to punish you. And they did it with a committee, which kept everyone fresh. You had Isaiah Pacheco just running angry. He gets 128 yards and a score.
Then Trey Benson comes in with fresh legs and tacks on another 58 yards and a touchdown.
And you had Weber's 96 yards. It was just relentless. And this connects to another stat that I think is almost more demoralizing.
What's that?
Their third down conversion rate. Arizona converted 87% of their third downs.
87%. That feels illegal.
It's suffocating. Put yourself in the shoes of a Cincinnati defender. You've just been beaten up for 2 plays. It's 3rd and 4. You're thinking, okay, we got to stop. I can get some water. And then Arizona just runs it for 12 yards.
And you have to stay out there.
You have to stay out there. And that's how you pile up 629 total yards. The defense never rests. They're exhausted physically and mentally by the end of the first half.
So the run sets up the pass opens the run, and the third downs just keep the whole machine churning. But we haven't even touched the receivers yet. Because if you decide to stack the box to stop this 11-yard per carry monster.
You have a different kind of monster waiting for you on the outside.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
The alpha. 110 yards and a touchdown. And if you look at the league leaderboards, he's 2nd in receiving yards and 3rd in touchdowns. This is who he is.
He's a legitimate superstar. But what makes him so valuable isn't just his own catches, it's his gravity.
Explain what you mean by gravity for anyone who doesn't watch the All-22 tape.
So, because Harrison is so dangerous, a defense has to overcommit to him. We saw Cincinnati constantly rolling his safety over the top to help the cornerback.
Yeah.
They were dedicating 2 players just to make sure he didn't beat them deep.
That's his gravity. He pulls defenders towards him.
Which leaves everyone else in a one-on-one matchup.
Precisely. If 2 guys are bracketing Harrison, that means someone else has a massive advantage. And that's why the rest of the receiving corps was just feasting.
Right, it wasn't a one-man show. The rookie Tommy Davis had 93 yards and a score. McBride chipped in with 55 yards. Another rookie, Hunter Thomas, got into the end zone too.
That's the whole pick your poison dilemma for a defense. You sell out to stop the run, Harrison will beat you. You double Harrison, well, the run game is averaging a first down every carry. Or Tommy Davis is beating your number 3 corner.
It sounds absolutely miserable to try and scheme against.
It is, and when your rookies are stepping up like that, it makes your offense basically scheme-proof. You just can't take everything away.
So the offense is just humming at a historic level. But you don't win 66-24 with just offense.
Yeah.
The other side of the ball has to show up. And there was one play, one defensive play that I think captured the pure chaos and joy of this game.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. The big fella.
The pick six. We have to talk about Walter Nolan.
In a game with all those offensive touchdowns, that might have been the highlight of the entire day.
So set the scene for us.
Okay, so Cincinnati's trying to get something going. Quarterback drops back, tries to fire a quick slant over the middle. The pass gets tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Just a big paw in the air.
A big paw in the air. And Walter Nolan, a defensive lineman, doesn't just watch it fall. He lays out full extension dive, like a shortstop, and secures the interception.
Which is incredible on its own for a guy that big.
Right, but he's not done. He scrambles to his feet, rumbles 34 yards, breaks a tackle, and dives into the end zone for a touchdown.
The stadium must have gone insane.
It's the kind of play that just breaks a team's spirit. When the other team's defensive tackle is scoring touchdowns, you just know it's not your day. But it showed how athletic this entire defense was. They were flying around the field.
They really were. Jalen Thompson was everywhere, 11 tackles, a couple pass breakups. Tremaine Edmonds had 9 tackles and a pick of his own. Joey Bosa was living in the backfield.
It just felt like Cincinnati could never get comfortable, and this goes back to what we said about the offense. Because Arizona's offense was on these long, sustained drives. Their defense was on the sideline, resting, drinking Gatorade, staying fresh. So every time they came on the field, they were playing at full speed. And that showed up in the most important part of the field.
The red zone.
The red zone. That's the money stat for me. They held Cincinnati to just 25% efficiency inside the 20.
And why is that so critical?
Because good teams are going to move the ball between the 20s, but when the field shrinks, can you get tough? Can you force a field goal or, even better, a turnover? Holding a team to 25% down there is elite. It's how a 20-point win becomes a 40-point blowout.
So, historic offense, opportunistic defense. But let's get to the so what of it all. Because it's fun to look at the scoreboard, but we have to look at the standings. After all that, Arizona is 5-5.
Which is, perfectly average. It's .500.
Exactly. If you just look at the record, they're a middle-of-the-pack team. But this feels different, doesn't it?
It does. 5-5 tells you where they've been, not where they're going. They're right in the thick of the playoff hunt. And in the NFL, momentum is everything. It's about when you get hot.
And Week 10 is the time to get hot.
It's the perfect time. This is when the pretenders start to fade and the real contenders start to hit their stride. This wasn't just some ugly win. This was a message. This was Arizona saying, we've found our identity.
And the trend line is pointing straight up.
Exactly. If you're playing your best football in November and December, you are a team nobody wants to face.
And looking ahead, they have a massive test coming up. This isn't just some easy game.
A huge.
The Rams. And the breakdown we saw called this a revenge game.
And that narrative matters. You have to remember what happened earlier this season. The Rams physically bullied Arizona. They pushed them all over the field. It was embarrassing for them.
It was. It looked like men against boys in the trenches that day.
So now you have this rematch. Arizona is coming off a game where they were the bullies. They just put up almost 630 yards. They have all the confidence in the world. And they have the motivation of avenging that loss.
It's a chance to prove this wasn't a one-off.
It's an exorcism game. If they can go out and beat the Rams, the team that pushed them around, it proves this identity change is real. It proves the 66-point game was the new standard.
Man, that's going to be electric. And can you imagine being in that locker room? You just dropped 66. Your quarterback looks like an MVP. Your rookies are scoring. Your D linemen are scoring. You have to feel invincible.
You do. But the challenge for the coaches now is handling success. It's easy to get motivated when everyone says you're bad. It's hard to stay hungry when everyone's telling you how great you are. Can they bottle this and focus it on a division rival?
So to wrap this up, Jack Weber has a 6-touchdown day. The team runs for video game numbers 11.7 yards a carry behind a dominant offensive line. And the defense cashes in on every single mistake.
It was a complete and total team win. Every phase of the game just clicked.
So here's the thought I want to leave everyone with. We talked about that 87% third down conversion rate. If this offense can maintain even a fraction of that efficiency and the defense keeps taking the ball away, is there even a ceiling for this team?
That is the big question, isn't it?
Because at 5-5, they're technically average. But if this is who they are now, the second half of this season is going to be an incredibly wild ride.
They might be the team nobody wants to see in January.
Exactly. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We will be watching very closely next week to see if they can get that revenge on the Rams. Until then, keep an eye on those trenches.
See you next time.